I lived in the Netherlands. I lived in Amsterdam for close to 2 years. And the Dutch are fantastic people, and they're incredibly easygoing and patient people. I mean, it takes a lot to piss them off. And what is going on now in the Netherlands is incredible. It's not only incredible what's going on in the Netherlands, it's what's going on in the rest of the world. That's insane. You see, for those of you in the United States and in the rest of Europe, you probably have no idea that in the Netherlands there are all kinds of riots going on the part of farmers and people who are sympathetic to the farmers' plight. Because if you don't know, what happened is that the Dutch government is implementing some climate change measures, and they are shutting down farms, like something like 30% up to 50%. It depends on the kind of farm and whatnot. And it's all about lowering nitrogen rates, which doesn't make any sense. The air that you breathe right now, that you and I are breathing, is something like 72% nitrogen, okay? It's not all oxygen, okay? Oxygen is like 18%, I think, something like that. But the nitrogen is like 72%. This notion that Dutch farmers are producing so much nitrogen, that roughly between a third and a fifth of the farms have to be shut down is insane. And it is so insane that, of course, the Dutch farmers are like, we're not having this. And they've been protesting. They've shut down 80% of the country. It is now impossible to cross the border between the Netherlands and Germany because the farmers and also truckers and other allied people are blocking the highways. They are blocking it with their tractors. They're blocking it with heaps of manure. They are blocking it with whatever they can get. And most of the people in the Netherlands are with the farmers. And yet none of this is being reported in the mainstream. I mean, I had heard about it for the last couple of days, and I assumed that, oh yeah, it must be in the news. But I started looking, it's nowhere to be found. There is a complete media blackout over this crisis. This crisis that is self-created by the Dutch government. And, I'm laughing. I'm laughing out of incredulity. I cannot believe that they are doing this. And of course, because of this, food prices in the Netherlands are going to shoot the moon. And of course, the Netherlands is a big supplier of food for the rest of Europe. So other Europeans are going to suffer as well. They are not going to be able to buy beef, milk, poultry. The Dutch government is obliging Dutch farmers to cull their herds of the different animals for these climate change targets of a gas that doesn't have any effect on the global climate. This is evil. This is beyond, I used to think that these people were just stupid, but this is beyond stupid. This is just frankly evil. These people who are the leadership class, they have nothing in common with the common people. They have absolutely nothing in common, and they view them as the enemy, and they want to destroy the enemy. And you Dutch bros who are listening to me, you have my heartfelt sympathies. I love the Netherlands. I think it's a fantastic country. And I think that the Dutch people are a wonderful people. And they are a wonderful, patient people. And if the Dutch are protesting like they are, then it's just beyond the pale. It's gone beyond the pale. It's gone beyond rationality. Because that's the thing that, anybody who's lived in the Netherlands can tell you. The Dutch, they are incredibly rational. They're incredibly circumspect. They never allow their emotions to run away from them. They never carry out actions dictated by their emotions. They are always rational. So if they are protesting to this degree, it's because this is crazy. But the worst part is that nobody is talking about it. None of the mainstream media is mentioning a word about what's going on in the Netherlands. This is a huge crisis in the heart of the European Union. And all of the news organizations in North America, Australia, New Zealand, and the rest of Europe, they are like it's not even happening. how can I put it? I've always been very skeptical of this notion that there's like the World Economic Forum, the New World Order, and the puppeteers are puppeteering everything. I've always thought that, all the stupidity going on was exactly that, just stupidity, just bad decision making by the people in power. But now, with what's going on in the Netherlands, I'm reevaluating whether this is really just stupidity or just evil. Just some weird evil plan. I mean, like some, like a Bond villain kind of bullshit, because this doesn't make any sense. And the fact that the media is so totally silent, that's why I'm doing this video. Because there hasn't been much to say about here in the situation in Ukraine. The Ukrainian situation is just trundling along, and basically the Russians are winning. Lysychansk collapsed, and soon enough the war is going to be hitting Kramatorsk. And more likely than not, the Ukrainian armed forces there are going to collapse, not because they're not brave. They are brave. They're incredibly brave. But you can't fight a colossus like the Russians. You can't fight, you can't win. And so there isn't really much to say except, the Russians, they're winning. That's all there is to be said, really. And because now it's clear that there isn't going to be any kind of negotiated peace, it's inevitable that the Russians are going to take over the whole country. They're going to take over the whole of Ukraine, all of it, okay? All of a sudden, there's going to be a breakthrough in the east, and they're going to just fly west. But that's for a different video. For this video, I want to talk about this Dutch situation. I want you to be aware of it. Look it up. Look on Twitter. You see all kinds of videos of people in the Netherlands protesting with their tractors, shutting down airports, highways, doing everything in their power to shut down the country in protest, in justified protest to these insane government measures that do not help the climate at all and are just crazy. Look it up on Twitter, because the news media, look at the news media, none of them are mentioning this. It's as if somebody told them, hey, buddy, you know that thing that's going on in the Netherlands? Don't mention it. Don't say a word, or else. That seems to be what's going on. Crazy as that may sound. I mean, like I said, I have never really bought into the whole conspiracy bullshit, but things that are going on now, I'm starting to wonder. Know what's going on.